rides here throughout the course of the spring.
It's 74 degrees at 2 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Attention.
They are not ready for prime time.
Prime time. That's the name.
Prime time.
What time is it? Showtime prime time.
It's XL Prime Time. Featuring Joe C.
And then he couldn't fire his glutes later.
Matt Hayes.
His balls are different in person.
And Leon Searcy.
So they were smelling themselves.
Oh, my gosh.
With no deal.
How you like me now? How you like me now?
Rocking and rolling on a Beaver Toyota Beaver Chevy Tuesday. Welcome in XL Prime Time. 2 o'clock hour. We own it. 2 till 4 this afternoon right here on the Superstation. And we got Lavernius Coles, a former Knoll, a Jacksonville native, former Jet. We're going to have him popping in studio to start off our 2 o'clock hour. We'll be saying hello and talking football, draft, and everything surrounding when he was selected and, of course, what his old team, the Jets, are going to do, what the Jaguars are going to do. And as we get things rolling, the chatter out there is, will this football team be moving out of that 17th spot? So we will definitely dig in on that. There's a lot of good stuff that's sitting out there floating on X, on social media, wherever it might be. But you guys can hit us with some of your thoughts. Just punch in 641-1010, the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, and you can give us a little bit of a take on what you think is going to happen with your Jacksonville Jaguars, because now it's kind of counting down to the last little part of it as far as what's going to happen with the Jaguars in 17 overall, and also where some of these other players are going to go. We opened up our show yesterday talking about the idea that J.J. McCarthy may move up as high as number 2 overall. In fact, his odds to go from the number 2 overall pick went from 25-1 down to 12-1. So it's crazy, Matt. The movement, he and a couple of other guys have been kind of like the darlings. I guess you'd call them the either the media darlings or the draft season darlings. Maybe that's the best way to put it.
I don't know what's going on here, but if you're watching on YouTube, like there's this.
Well, it looks like you're celebrating a birthday. It's just a bunch of Jaguars balloons.
Jaguars balloons.
It kind of suits you. It makes you look happier, you know?
Yeah.
Like you were a little cranky.
Yeah.
You were a little cranky
very
earlier
happy
talking
now,
about the Lakers and whatnot, so I can't wait to get into that. That's for sure. Just the NBA. Let me tell you something. Whenever someone says the refs cost the Lakers and they didn't want them to win, just hear yourself when you actually say that, okay? Because that's taking a win away from the Lakers, Leon. Okay, and I don't think that happens very often. I don't think they're out there going, hey, television wants Denver over L.A. Television wants the Joker over LeBron. Are you kidding me?
Here's another thing. The presser. I listened to the presser. Matt was just talking about this in the production meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? The whining that's going on after these
unreal,
games, man. I mean, listen, these are some of the most phenomenal athletes in the world.
The best athletes in
Especially athletes in the world. And they complain about the refs and non-calls and all this other kind of stuff. Listen, the refs did not cost you a 20-point lead, all right? Listen, I stood up for that. You know, I'm tired of the Lakers breaking my heart. I was contemplating the halftime going to sleep. I needed some rest, and we was up by like 17. I said, okay, we might have this. And I said, some said, don't go to sleep because it ain't over. And then they broke my heart again.
They're a three-quarter team. At least that's what it feels like right now, because I love them. And I felt like the last couple of games in Denver, they had a chance to win, and they weren't able to get it done. And, yeah, you had an open look for – it's funny. This is how you should probably frame this. And LeBron James is great, okay? At 39 years of age, he is great. And he goes and he does what he does last night. But this is the way it was framed on X last night. Okay, let me get this right. He had a wide-open look from 3 and didn't hit it. And in the corner, Murray was completely covered up and hits it for the win. And so that's just the way the game unfolded. One guy was basically unguarded. The other guy was, Well, he had AD draped on him, and he was able to make that shot. So we'll get into some NBA. But how about this guy leaning in to this microphone? Let's say a little round of applause for Lavernius Coles, Jacksonville's own, as he sits in here for XL Primetime to talk a little football in the NFL.
Well, you can tell by his
welcome.
attire where his love is. He's a Jet for life now. When I saw that, I knew he was going to come Jet down for sure.
Yeah.
He loves some Jets, man.
All right, lean in on that microphone. How you doing, man?
And I'm good. How about yourself?
Very good, very good. We appreciate it. You know, all of us, either Leon played against you or we followed you and covered you over the years. Tell everybody right here in Duval what you're up to these days, and then we'll talk a little NFL football with you.
Just enjoying retirement, man. I'm working with the 33rd team, Mike Tannenbaum with them, doing a podcast with them. Learning how to DJ, one of my favorite things to do, favorite pastime. And then being a family man. Every now and again, I get to have a nice cigar with Leon.
Yeah.
So that's one of the great things about being retired and hanging out with him.
Well, first of all, he ain't learning to DJ, all right? He's a hell of a damn DJ, all right? Listen, I freak with the bar where he DJ is. DJ press play. And I'm telling you about he get his groove on for sure.
Is that kind of like we all have that thing that if we could do and make like you played the game and you made a fair amount of money, but is your true love or passion spinning and doing DJ work?
I'm going to be honest with you. The way it kind of fell into my lap was I've owned nightclubs for the last 15 years.
Yeah.
And the only part of the business I never got into was actually DJing. And I always thought, looking at the DJ, I'm like, man, all you doing is playing a record. It can't be that hard. And then I actually got into it. I was like, man, it's pretty hard to get done. So a whole new respect for DJs.
Yeah.
But just getting into it and loving it and then finding out you have a different love for music is great.
All right, so let's get into ball. The Jets yesterday sent Zach Wilson packing.
Of course.
Looking for a quarterback. What are your thoughts on the quarterback situation right now, and what do you hope they do with that pick?
I've been attacked with this question so many times, but they haven't handled things quite the way I thought they would, period. I mean, they've gotten older. Some people think they've gotten better. They went out and kind of put a Band-Aid over a broken dam, in my opinion, where you have an offensive line that hasn't been very productive at all, and then you go out and sign guys who've been hurt over the past few years and think they're going to come in the last 17 games in a regular season. They're going to protect the quarterback that's coming off an Achilles injury.
Right.
So I would think they would go to offensive line, but I think they feel they probably invested enough money into the offensive line to get things done for the season. But my personal opinion, I don't think it's going to be enough. So hopefully we go offensive line, but, you know, a lot of mock drafts have us taking a tight end, the kid out of Georgia at number 10. But the best pick, in my opinion, is the best available offensive line they can get their hands on.
Mm-hmm.
He's with us now.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, what you put your
tried
GM
that now already, and it didn't work. That's the only thing that's a little sketchy.
Now, LC, I want you to put your GM hat on. What I did is I went and did some research. Now, I went and looked at what your needs were, all right? The Jets' needs for 2024 is, like you said, wide receiver, O-line, safety. That's what it is. So I did a mock draft, all right? Yeah. I'm only going to go to the first 3 picks, all right? And you tell me if I did a good job as far as your first 3 picks, all right? Now, at number 10, I got your boy. I got Malik Neighbors at number 10. Now, how would you feel if the Jets took Malik Neighbors at number 10? Now, I'm going to tell you what I had available. Now, I had Joe Alt available, and I had Bowers available, but I took Malik.
You had Joe Alt?
I had Joe Alt. I did. I had them available. But see, the only reason why I didn't take him because y'all got Tyron. You got Tyron and Frazier. I know he's a little long in the tooth, the left tackle from the Cowboys. So I let that slide for a year.
You can't.
Bad move?
Very bad.
Okay. Well, listen, according to my grade, there's an A on this grade, all right? All right, now your 72nd pick. Now, I don't know, this might offend Aaron Rodgers a little bit. I took Spencer Rattler.
Wow.
I took him as a backup.
Wow. I would assume you can get a backup a little bit later in the draft and bring in another veteran because I don't think a rookie can step in at this point and get them where they need to be, which is what they're trying to do is get to a Super Bowl. So if Aaron has any issues, you think a rookie backup is going to come in?
Well, listen, if I'm on the scouting team,
he will flip it.
He already fired me. I'm telling you, he already fired me. Look, I'm on the scouting team. He's already fired me, all right? And the last pick I took the offensive tackle from Yale, Kieran. What's his name, Matt?
I can't remember.
Yeah,
can't go wrong with a smart guy. So
yeah. So okay. So those are my first 3 picks.
So you got a C minus.
I got C minus right now. Well, I don't keep my job.
You take Joe Alt if he's available because Tyron hasn't played a full season.
That's
I
true.
don't know in the last 3 or 4 years.
He's been injury riddling. Yeah.
So
absolutely.
that was one of the reasons Dallas didn't want to invest a lot of money into him. So I think us picking him up with incentive-laden contract kind of protects the team, but it doesn't protect Aaron, which is what I was concerned about.
And plus, Joe Alt, I believe we talk about generational quarterbacks. You're talking about a guy you just plug and play at left tackle and turn your back in 10 years and he's still there.
See, but I don't understand this, though. You're willing to take Amajami at in the third round to tackle, but you're not willing to take Joe Alt in the first round.
Well, listen, I slipped, okay?
He's got some Jag in him and some Steeler in him over a Jag.
Right, little Dino Laverace, he's like protecting people so the Jazz can take who he wants.
Oh, okay, I get it. So he's looking out for his team. I get it.
He's hoping Hope falls.
All right, that's beautiful. Now, you grew up here in Jacksonville, and then you went to FSU, and then you went to New York. Can you remember what draft day was like, how everything unfolded? Take us back.
Oh, so it was kind of one of them things where I kind of knew where I was going if I went in the first round because originally I was a top 10 pick from what scouts had me at. And then, of course, everybody knows the Dillard scandal me and Peter Warwick got into back then. But then I think, who was y'all coach at the time? Coughlin. Tom Coughlin at the time told me he was going to take me or R.J. Sauer with the 21st pick. So that was one of those things where I didn't know. They brought me in for another workout right before the draft. And I just kind of was in limbo. I was like, if the Jags don't take me, I don't know who's going to take me. I was just kind of left there. So I actually got up and went to Travis Taylor's party out in was it Ponte Vedra? He did his in Ponte Vedra. He was going to be a very high pick out of Florida. Yeah. Me and him was high school teammates. So he ended up going 10th pick after he got picked. I went back over with my family and just kind of hung out. Right. And back then we did rounds 1 through 3 on the first day, so it wasn't one of these things where you do round 1, then you got the next day 2, 3, the next day. This thing is drawn out. But so I didn't get picked till about 10 something that night, but I think I was like the 17th receiver taken or somewhere around that. And I surely remember everybody that went ahead of me, and I was just like, there's no way that all of these guys are better than I am at that time. But hey, these GMs, they get paid to make decisions, and we get paid to play ball. So my agent told me at that time, he said, it doesn't matter where you pick, it's what you do when you get there. And he said, so don't worry about where you go. Just make sure when you get in, you get hunkered down and you're ready to play ball.
I guess all you can do is keep score, right? Because he went, 78th overall in the third round. So, you can't help but look and say, hey, I'm going to prove people wrong.
And frankly, we all love Tom Coughlin here, but clearly that was a mistake. R.J. Sauer over the race goals was clearly a mistake.
And by the way, I don't know if anybody remembers this. You might remember this, Lavernius, but we were all talking. How did they not? How could they do their due diligence preparing for the draft and not find out something down in Southern California that R.J. may be a little bit of a question mark as far as off the field, because he ended up being a huge question mark compared to you, like you said, just getting him one little incident at Dillon.
I think a lot of it has to do with just the history of guys being hometown guys. I think they've gotten a little bit over that now. But back then, I think for some reason, a lot of guys didn't keep guys at home. I don't think no NFL team. Pittsburgh does it every now and again. Remember, they let Aaron Donald leave right out their backyard. Yeah. It's just something about guys. They're starting to learn their lesson. Guys go somewhere else and do well, but you got to remember, you had Sam Cowart come out of here. You have Fred Weir. All these guys go other places. Here you guys are right in your backyard. These are guys you get to see on a regular basis.
Now, it's funny he says that because it was a long time the Miami Dolphins would not draft Miami Hurricanes. Yeah. Don Shula got arrested that he did not like Miami Hurricanes because of what he saw on TV. And Don Shula was more of a stickler on button down or whatever. And Miami was not that. We were do-rag down. So so for a long time, listen, I think the years from Miami in the 80s to the 90s, I think he drafted one player from the Miami Hurricanes, and that was Randall Hill. That was in 1990. That was the only guy he's drafted because for a long time he really didn't like the style of play or the characters that we had on those teams.
It wasn't you guys play on the field because that showed himself. It was just what he saw off the field, and he didn't think that probably would mesh with what he had going in his locker room or his style of thinking, the way a team should be pretty much.
Right. Yeah. So now that you're working with 33rd Team with Mike, do you see it differently now, the draft? Are you more of a need guy or are you more of a best player available guy?
And ultimately, it depends on where we are. Are you rebuilding, or are you?
Let's say you're 9-8 and you lost 5 of your last 6 the previous year.
That's Jacksonville.
You're 9-8,
and you couldn't get 4th and 1.
And you couldn't get a 4th and 1 ever, and on 3rd and half a yard, you brought out 10 personnel.
Wow, that's coaching.
That is.
That's coaching.
Or fear of not being able to get off get that block off.
Believe it or not, the NFL is a combination of everything. You have to have the right guys in the right places, but you also have to have the right staff in the right places that knows how to maximize the ability of the guys that they have on the roster.
Yeah.
So, all the guys are talented. So, it depends on what they can do with them. You get one guy. I say it all the time. We had Eric Mangini when I was in New York, and we couldn't get over the hump. We couldn't break the playoffs. But then you had Rex Ryan come in with pretty much the same team. He went out and got Bart Scott to come in and lead the defense and got him to the AFC Championship 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
The same roster. He didn't go out and draft anybody spectacular. Actually, his draft picks didn't do well at all that came in. But that roster, his coaching style fit the guys that were in that locker room. So it shows you how things happen. Who else came in? I think Gruden came in after Tony Dungy with the same roster down in Tampa and won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So it's been proven over time that just sometimes the right coaching style comes in and fit with those guys, it works. And, I mean, sometimes a lot of people put a lot of emphasis on the players. Players do win the games, but coaches have a lot to do with it also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's about motivating men. I mean, that scenario alone lets you know. I mean, you've got to have a close – first of all, players can tell if you're real or not. Mm-hmm. As soon as you walk in that team meeting room, if you're real or not. And you got one chance to sell. You got one chance to sell. If you don't sell, and then the player's going to be –
You can't get it back?
No, you got one chance to sell. And if you come in there with the wrong sell, player's going to do like this.
Mm-hmm. Backing up.
They go back up in the chair like, man, this man don't know what he's talking about, man. I'm telling you, that's how we are.
It's funny because I can picture, Mangini was living off a little Belichick resume, and whereas Rex Ryan, even though he learned under some great people, he came in and said, this is going to be my personality, my team, my brand.
He was himself.
Yeah.
We all knew that Eric wasn't being himself when he walked in. He was trying to be Belichick over in New York.
Yeah.
And when you see through that, it just causes guys not to really want to. You play for him, but you don't run through a brick wall for him. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Where you go that extra mile to help a guy win. I mean, and it showed on the field. I mean, we played hard, but we were supposed to be better. I think we went out and got rid of Chad Pennington 1 year, and then brought in Brett Favre. And when Brett came in, it changed the whole dynamics of the locker room. Yeah. The year before, it was like, okay, this is my way or the highway. And then Brett come in, and Brett was like, I'm not doing that. This is what we're doing. And he's backing up off of Brett like, okay, if that's what you're saying. We're looking like, well, hold up, buddy. You did us like this last year. So you got 11 guys or 10 guys in training camp learning the offense, and you bring one guy in the middle of training camp, and we all have to drop our offense to learn what he knows. Yeah. That said a lot to the team. Like, whose team is this? Is it your team or is it his team?
Yeah, who's in control? Yeah, who's in control? That's crazy. All right, keep you for one more segment. We'll talk a little bit more. We got Lavernius Coles, Jacksonville's own from Rebold, and we'll talk a little bit about the draft and what we think. We want to put out an X poll with the top 4 receivers in this area, and then maybe one that Jacksonville's looking at. So we'll ask you about those cats coming up as well. Beaver Toyota, Beaver Chevy, they bring you today's show, and I'll invite you. They are there to wow you, but just want you to go check it out. Check out the line at BeaverToyotaStAugustine.com, BeaverChevrolet.com. You will find an unbelievable selection, SUVs, pickup trucks, luxurious cars, economy, whatever you're looking for. Check out both of them. Lavernius Coles, we're going to talk a little FSU as well as some Jacksonville Jaguars and New York Jets football coming up.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. These guys don't pull any punches.
Screw you. You owe me. You are totally out of control. You're going to get yourself killed.
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser.
How are you going to stop me?
They are the drill.
I can stop you.
Weekday mornings on 1010XL.
It's the car, right? Chicks love the car.
Imagine a complete one-stop shop for all your company's technology needs. A Jacksonville business who keeps their customer service local, so you never get outsourced to a distant call center. When your company is ready for faster support for managed IT services, voice-over IP phone systems, or access control, discover why so many business owners select Total Business Systems. Call 604-6900, 604-6900, or JacksITExperts.com.
Hey there, all you sports dads rocking the best dad bod possible. We love seeing you eat tacos by the handful, and we love it when you bring your kids here too. For years, Lucy claimed that her favorite thing on the menu was sopapillas, the big scoop of ice cream. I know that's not a taco, but that never stopped her. I was shooting for Dad of the Year anyway, so I just let it happen. Taco Lou's a great place to bring the family. There's something for everyone, as long as it starts with a taco. And a margarita for mom is always a good thing. At Taco Lou in Jacksonville Beach.
Transmission troubles? I'm Robin Sidbury, owner of Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road. So come in and see how we can help solve your transmission troubles. We service all makes and models. Remember, get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to divorcemenonly.com. Divorcemenonly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
Did you know that a metal roof from Prime Roofing will last 2 to 3 times longer than a shingle roof? If you want a better roof, think metal. Think Prime Roofing. Schedule your free estimate today at primeroofingfl.com. primeroofingfl.com.
Every team has an enforcer.
Whether you like it or not, I'm a hard hitter and I'm a straight shooter.
Tommy Mack is ours.
I say it like I see it.
Fridays on Jaguars Today, brought to you by Renewal by Anderson Windows and Doors on 1010XL.
Electricians, innovators, and tech enthusiasts, listen up. Miller Electric is shaping the future, and we want you to be a part of it. From healthcare and data centers, corporate offices, aviation, and industrial facilities, Miller Electric is powering the most exciting projects in Jacksonville and beyond. We offer not just a job, but a thrilling career with great pay and incredible benefits. Visit us at millercareers.com to apply. Miller Electric, where your skills meet our vision, an equal opportunity employer.
Friday on The Frangie Show. Tune in for the House Call segment brought to you by Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Rehab. Join the discussion as a JOI expert tells you about total knee replacements. JOI, where the pros go.
From happy hour to late night fun, Anheuser-Busch wants to remind you it's better to take it easy and be in for the win. That means you had a good time and you got home safely. So know when to say when and be there for the next big time by designating a driver.
Men, are you suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE? The medical providers at Prime Men's Medical Center offer breakthrough treatments that eliminate problems in the bedroom without pain or surgery. 98% of men see instant results on their first office visit. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Prime Men's Medical Center offers breakthrough medical treatments that eliminate ED and PE. Men are even lasting 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history.
But that's not all. For a limited time only, call Prime Men's Medical Center now, and your initial consultation and first treatment are completely free. You'll see instant results right in the office. You'll even get a gift that enhances your performance in the bedroom. All this, worth hundreds of dollars, is free if you call now. 904-664-8217. 904-664-8217. That's 904-664-8217.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes, and I've been telling you about Fenwick Home Services for a while now. Well, spring is here, and that to-do list isn't going away. But I'm not stressing, because when I need them, I know Fenwick Home Services is there 24/7 with cooling and plumbing solutions to fit my budget. Whether it's minor upgrades or major repairs, they get it done right the first time. So schedule your seasonal AC tune-up today and avoid costly breakdowns. Don't hope you won't have a problem. Plan to make sure you don't. Book now at FenwickHomeservices.com/radio. That's FenwickHomeservices.com/radio.
Where's the longest cave system in the world? The answer in a moment.
There's always a good reason to compare homeowners' insurance rates. You may be paying too much. Protect your home with a Southern Oak insurance policy today.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
With over 400 miles meandering through 3 counties, Mammoth Cave National Park in Kentucky is the longest cave system in the world.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Attention real estate agents, loan officers, and mortgage professionals. Trust your real estate closings to the expertise of St. John's Title, LLC. As a board-certified attorney-owned and operated firm with years of experience, St. John's Title provides the utmost of precision and professionalism. With conveniently located offices and in-home remote closing options, our customer-first approach ensures a seamless process tailored to your timeline. Join our team of experts and 5-star testimonials from customers across the First Coast. Choose St. John's Title.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime. Brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool. On 1010XL.
Cool to hang out with Lavernius Coles, former Revolt star, FSU star, New York Jet. As we were hanging out XL Primetime on a Beaver Chevy Beaver Toyota Tuesday. Joe C., Matt Hayes, Big Leon Searcy, and RJ spinning it right now. See, RJ may want to come in and kind of do a little DJ work too, Lavernius.
Awesome. That would be awesome.
Yeah, he might be ready to go too. All right, so we got Lavernius Coles for one more segment, and we're talking either Jets football, Jaguars football. We're sneaking a little FSU. If you guys want to hit the text line, designed by Lifetime and closes at 641-1010, we can sneak it in. Have you paid attention to those receivers that are at the top of the board? Have you taken a look at it? Because, like you said, you're doing a little work on 33rd team with Mike Tannenbaum. You look at, obviously, Marvin Harrison, and then you look at Malik Neighbors, and you go down the line, and you start taking a look at Roma Dunze. What do you think of this class of wide receivers?
I think they're very deep, and I think if they have a big run at receivers at the top of the draft, they may end up overrunning themselves later on because it's such a deep draft. And then what happens is you get a run of top wide receivers get picked up in the first round because everybody believes it's going to be the quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. And then those receivers that you think are going to fall to the second and third, you can pick up later, start getting picked up high in the draft. Yeah. And then you may end up getting bitten behind later on, which is what I don't want to happen to the teams.
No.
That's what Trent Baalke says all the time. You know, the board, and we make fun of him for saying this, but the draft board, the way it plays out, basically dictates what you pick.
Yeah.
There's runs all the time, right?
Yeah. And I mean, and you understand that right now the game has went to a passing league, so everybody need deep threats and people that can stretch the field to make things easier for the running game because a lot of teams have gotten away from the running game. And to be able to make the running game a bit easier later in games, you need a guy that still can threaten the field. Look at what Tyreek Hill does for the Dolphins. Yeah. I mean, he is a game changer, and if you ever come up and decide you don't want to put a safety in the middle of the field, you're going to get your feelings hurt. So guys like that, when you start getting those guys picked up, and I think we had a guy break the 40 record this year, he probably ended up going higher than he probably would have just because of his speed. I mean, most guys probably had him going late second, maybe third. I wouldn't be shocked he'd get picked up late in the first round.
Yeah.
Well, so you're saying just like the quarterbacks, because I believe a lot of these quarterbacks get overdrafted, and I think that once a couple of go, then other teams worry about not getting their guy. I mean, the same thing would go to receivers. Yeah. Same thing happen to receivers. If a certain guy go, I don't know which guy it may be, but other teams might want to jump on wide receivers and overdraft the guy just because they got to fill that need.
And I mean, it's a huge investment, and I didn't understand that until I started working with these guys in the front office about how they value these picks and how much money they put into them. So when they look at these guys and they have a need or they have some guy that they have on the board and they may not have him going until third or fourth round and he may be there where they can pick him up maybe late in the second or late third, and then they get a run on that position, then like I say, GMs panic. That guy comes in. If he doesn't pan out, and then that's when their jobs start being on the line at that point because you told me this guy was going to be productive. And these owners, believe it or not, I mean, much as I love the owners, a lot of them don't know nothing about football, but they do know production. They know when a guy's catching the ball and selling jerseys. That's what they do know. So if he ain't coming in and doing that, your job is on the line if you're picking him that high. So I get it, but, it's just one of those things where teams have to really be careful about over-investing in these guys and make sure that that's what they really want when they make those picks that high.
Let's keep that theme on the quarterback part of it too, because we know people are going to overdraft at that position because they feel desperate. So you as an accomplished wide receiver, what do you immediately look for or lock in on a quarterback knowing that this dude can run the show for us?
To be honest, I've never really looked at a guy and said he can come in and do it. And I don't understand why a lot of these teams do that. I think you don't know because and people be like, well, he did this in college. And I say, well, I have to break it down for people like this. I'm like, think about it. Unless you're at the University of Miami or Alabama, maybe or Florida State, Michigan, a lot of these guys that come from these schools, they maybe see one or two guys on the field with them that are actually going to play at the next level when you think about it.
True.
So when you're looking at it from that perspective and he's out there ripping it up, I'm like, well, who is he doing it against? I mean, if he come in and he do it against Alabama, like the quarterback Stroud did against Georgia when he was playing, he lit it up against. I mean, that defense probably had 3 or 4 first rounders, probably another 4 second rounders and third round. That's when you can tell a guy's got something special about him. But if I mean, right now at my age, I'm 40, going on 47. I probably can run around some high school kids right now and give them the blues.
Yeah,
it's a given. I think Leon could probably pass that maybe about 4 or 5 times give him some Gatorade and some Band-Aids out there.
You can go for it? He says extra point all the time. That's all he's got in him right now.
These hands are still registered.
Yeah. So I'm just saying your level of competition means something at that level. So if he's doing it against stacked talent, I get it. But if he's doing it against some mediocre teams, you have to look at what he's actually doing against them before you give him that pat on the back and say this guy's ready to go to the next level and rip it up. So I think we have to be cautious about a lot of them guys too, because I mean Peyton Manning, everybody knew he was going to be that guy. Yeah. I mean when he came out because he was Peyton Manning, but then you had guys come after him they've anointed. Ain't really done much. So you have to look at it like that. I don't like calling people names out like that and putting it on them.
Yeah, but still, just that Manning versus Ryan Leaf. Who was it? Paulie said he went to bed and he wasn't quite sure he was going to select, and obviously he made the right selection.
I mean, so you have, but it's a lot of guys that have picked out. I mean, I'll say Zach Wilson because I've given him a hard time since he's been with the Jets. But it is a struggle to come in and be productive. He did well in college. When I watched him, I didn't think he would translate well to the NFL. But that was just my opinion. Those were my eyes. A general manager had to make a decision and say, I think he translates well with what he does. Now, it hasn't translated yet. That doesn't mean it won't under the right tutelage and the coaching that can come in and probably hone his skills in the right offense. But it's going to take some time now because, one, his confidence is fractured. His playing ability is fractured because he's been beat up. I mean, the guy should be gunshot. He was getting hit in the face by bullets every play for 2 or 3 years. So he's going to have a lot of work to get back to what they thought it could be, but it's possible under the right system.
Do you see Trevor Lawrence being that guy? Now, you've seen 3 years of him now. Is he a guy that can be a franchise type, get you to the playoffs, maybe get you a deep run in the playoffs guy?
He's shown flashes, but the coach Peterson was the guy that was supposed to take him to the next level. You have to ask yourself, have you seen the next level out of him since he's been here? I mean, he hasn't gotten you to the playoffs. He hasn't done much more than he had done the previous years. I mean, of course, he was in a bad situation, but he hasn't taken that step to where you say, okay, this guy is our guy.
From 2022, you mean?
Yeah. So, I mean, like you say, you have guys come in and, they get the right coaching staff. I mean, I'm not saying it is the coaching, but you have to look at everything around this kid because he was supposed to be the next Peyton Manning. What we were told, Peyton had a rough rookie year, but every year he got better after that. Has he gotten better year to year in your opinion? Has he improved his team year to year in your opinion? I mean, those are all significant questions you have to have because now you have to invest money into him at this point. And I'm not talking about a little bit of money. If he's going to be your franchise, you're going to have to back up the Brinks truck. So, So do you think this guy can get you to the Super Bowl? Because that's what every team asks themselves year in and year out. Before the season starts, every team puts a picture of that trophy up or they're talking about that trophy before the season. And in your heart of hearts, do you truly believe that he can take you to the Super Bowl? And if he can't, then the GM probably sitting up there on his wallet trying to figure out where he going to get his next meal at if he doesn't. I'll tell you that much. It's a rough situation to be in.
Yeah. My whole take on Trevor is that he doesn't impose his will onto the team. So to say, outside of 2022, during that back half when they made that
in the
playoff
Chargers
run,
game,
in the Chargers game,
they won a playoff game here.
Yeah,
so
they won a playoff game, and they should have beat KC, but but I just don't. As far as posing as well, I mean, his fingerprint is not on this team yet, in my opinion. That's what I'm saying. We haven't seen enough of greatness from him for me to say this is your team. And I played with a guy. Although he never took it to a Super Bowl. He had moments of greatness. Mark Brunell. Yeah. Mark Brunell, I tell people all this time, in the huddle, as an offensive lineman, as a team, when you got your guy. Yeah. Because when you step in that huddle, because I tell people this all the time, 96 when we played the Broncos up there in the divisional round or whatever, and we were up by 3 points with 3 minutes to go, and we knew if we gave John Elway the ball back, the game was over. And we had to find a way to score a touchdown, right? So Mark Brunell runs in the huddle, and he says, he claps his hand, hey, fellas, y'all having fun yet? Ain't this fun? I mean, that confidence, that quiet confidence about you say, hey, listen, let's go out there and let's win this game. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about someone who can insert themselves in the huddle and make everybody around them better by his belief system. I just need to see more of that from Trevor than not. That's
it's going to be a huge step this year because that contract is coming. It may come before this year starts, that's for sure. All right, so let's use that step into the huddle guy because that's what Jordan Travis was last year for FSU. Yeah. That cat, the individual, I'm just so impressed with, just being around him for the amount of time that he's been playing up there in Tallahassee. They now change. They go to DJU. What do you think of what Mike Norvell has done in the time that you've been around FSU, and I know as a former star there?
Well, I think he's had a culture change in that locker room. Those guys are about winning again. I mean, you could tell just by the way they're playing. I mean, their defense, of course, was amazing. Just watching them play the few times I did get a chance to watch them last year, and I think the guys love him. I haven't had an opportunity to get over there. I told you I'll be over there for their big man camp. I actually get a chance to meet him and be around some of the guys. I think Ron Dugas is my former teammate, their wide receivers coach. But these guys, man, they've stepped it up. I mean, I don't really claim them like that, but I mean, I'm proud that they're actually back winning, because when we were there, it was about winning. I mean, we lost a game, man. It felt like it was the end of the world. And I'll tell you a story about my first time in the league. I mean, we lost a game in college. I would cry. I mean, it's like everything just hurt. And I'll never forget, I got in the NFL and we lost one. I think we lost our second game, and Vinny Testaverde walked by me and I'm crying. He's like, "Man, what is wrong with you?" "Man, we lost." He was like, "Man, you're going to be doing a lot of crying. You better cut that
out." But when you play college ball, it was the golden years of Florida State, and Miami. That was everything.
I mean, and your pride, you laid it on line. So needless to say, they're back there. They're back there where these guys are taking pride in playing ball and happy to be on the field and winning and playing for each other, which is the most important.
Does it hurt young dudes today to lose, do you think? I mean, they're different guys now. Leon talks about it all the time. They're different guys. It's a different person now. And it's not necessarily their fault. It's just different the way they've grown up. Do you think it hurts the young guys to lose now, or they're just like, we'll go to the next one?
Well, I mean, it's business for them now. I mean, right now it's not the same. I mean, like I said, NIL has changed everything for everybody. I mean, these guys – back in the day, when you didn't play, you figured out a way to work your way back into the rotation, whether it was I'm going to get on special teams to show coach I can play, or do something different to try to help a team, or even go to the whole opposite side of the field to play cornerback or play safety, or if I'm at safety or somewhere else, I'll come over and play H-back or do something to fit into the team because you wanted to play. You drove yourself to get better, to be a part of the team and be a part of a winning team. Well, now whether you're winning or losing, guys like, I just want to play. They'll get up, jump in the portal, and try and figure out something somewhere else. Well, for me, winning was important. A lot of people don't understand. You got to remember the wide receiver room when I was there was packed at Florida State, and the running back room. So you had to think, when I first walked through the doors, you had Randy Moss, you had E.G. Green, you had Andre Cooper, you had Peter Ward.
Good
God. And then later on,
That's unreal,
then you had Anquan Bolden, you had Javon Walker, you had so you got to think of the list of guys.
NFL.
Javon was a high draft pick too.
Yeah, so you got all these guys that can play. So you have to figure out where I can fit in. So it wasn't I'm just gonna jump in the portal. You figured out a way to play, and you made coach find a way to get you involved in the ball game. So I think today it is giving them a way to get out of being competitive. But for some guys, I don't think it's any teams that are loaded like that anymore, where they have to fight to be competitive, which is what they're going to have to be at the next level, because what we're talking about now, the draft, you can't escape that. That's coming every year. A team is going to pick every year, and it brought a lot to my eyes when we were sitting in that room, and I think we had 13 guys that were rookies make my team. And the guy that was speaking to us that day he said, for you guys to be here, that means somebody ain't here.
That means because there's only so many slots in the NFL compared to
college where you can.
All right, a couple off the text line, because before you go, you got to tell people what you're doing. One of my favorite dudes lived in my neighborhood over by First Coast, was a beast at FSU. Go Noles. One of them asked let me see if I can find this. Any truth to the rumor LC ran a 4.1940?
Yeah, several truths to it. They actually made me run it 4 times before they gave it to me.
Really?
Yeah.
You ran 4.19 4 straight times?
Actually, the first time I ran was 4.16.
Golly.
Thank you for everything, Mr. Coles, from Knowles fans everywhere, so on and so forth. So there's a lot of good ones there.
Awesome.
All right, so what are you doing now? And you got to brag on your son.
Well, I was telling you guys, I'm back in school now, so I should be done in 3.5 months. California Coast online school, and it's all because my son, he's going to Harvard, so he always told me I never started something I didn't finish. And if he got into Harvard, I would finish school, and he's into Harvard, going to grad school, and I'm thankful that he's in, so I'm back in school myself.
That's pretty cool.
That's nice.
That's pretty cool. Well, listen, man, we appreciate it. Hopefully, no stranger to XL Primetime. Pop in from time to time. It'd be cool. talk a little no ball, and then we'll see whether or not you're going to rise to the level of a Mike Tannenbaum and be a GM at the Jets here.
I don't think I'll be any good because I talk too much noise.
But, hey, Ron, before we go, is he, just set to go healthy as far as what you hear up in New York? Because I'm telling you, that was a drama-filled season 4 plays into it.
From what I hear, I've been watching the videos. I've been able to see him at practice. He looks pretty good right now. But, again, when that thing turned live and people start diving at them ankles and knees you have to start running for real, it can get a little fishy. But we'll find out real fast where he is at. Because right now don't mean nothing. I could be as healthy and what we call them guys, them no-shoulder pad soldiers we got out there. We need guys that can play.
Diaper dandies.
Yeah. We need guys that can play when the lights come on and it means something. So let's see what happens then.
All right, thank you, man. Lavernius Coles from right here in Jacksonville went to Ribault and hanging out with us on XL Primetime.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios with XL Primetime on 1010XL. Find your new Honda at your 8 local Honda dealers. There's a certain romance to radio play-by-play.
We need you to be all strong and hot.
Experience the most play-by-play sports on 1010XL.
Mia here. Why Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned? I'll tell you why. Over 600 vehicles in stock right now. That's 275 SUVs, over 200 cars, over 110 pickups on the ground in stock, one location. Arlington Pre-Owned even has 125 vehicles under $18,000. Plus, Arlington's 30-day exchange program is now double. That's 60 days to love it or exchange it. Plus, Arlington's Credit for Everyone program. Shop 10939 Atlantic Boulevard or arlingtontoyota.com.
Americans know that one size does not fit all. We want individual choice, and our kids' education should be no different. Hello, it's Congressman Aaron Bean. Whether it's private, charter, religious, homeschool, or even a public school in a different location, families should decide how their child learns. More power for parents, more options for students, a better education for everyone. That's what I'm fighting for. This is Congressman Aaron Bean, and serving you is what we do. Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Mia here, and we've all been there before. A weekend trip to the casino? Canceled because real life came calling. MyBookie's new and improved online casino is here to change the game. Dive into a truly realistic casino experience featuring the latest in slots, progressive jackpots, and live dealer action, all from the comfort of your own home. The live casino is so easy to use. Just go to MyBookie and click Live Casino at the top. You'll find live dealers ready to deal or spin just like you're at the casino. The MyBookie Casino provides a Las Vegas experience when the action's in the palm of your hands and you don't even need to wear pants. Start at MyBookie today with a generous sign-up bonus using promo code 1010XL. A revamped loyalty program ensures a host of exclusive VIP perks. Sign up and hit the casino with promo code 1010XL. The more you play, the more you win, only with MyBookie.
Denny Thompson here. Tackle burglars and protect your turf. Give yourself peace of mind catching everything around your home with Tyson Sound & Security's cutting-edge surveillance cameras. For safety and convenience, Tyson has you covered for all home cameras and security systems. I'm talking HD recording, night vision, and remote alerts all from your phone or computer. Call Tyson Sound & Security right now at 904-762-1000. Tyson Sound & Security. Security and automation experts.
It's Kubota Orange Days, your golden chance to score a deal that will make your neighbors green with envy. Shop the year's best selection of Kubota tractors, zero-turn mowers, and utility vehicles, including the #1 selling compact tractor in the USA. And get the year's best deals, like 0% APR for 84 months, or up to $3,300 off L3302 tractors. Coastal Equipment on New Kings Road and in McClenny.
Coastal Equipment.
At Duck Duck Air Conditioning, we understand the importance of having a properly functioning air conditioning system, especially in hot and humid climates like Florida. That's why we offer a wide range of services, including installation, repair, maintenance, and replacement of all types of air conditioning systems. The Duck Duck Air Conditioning team is available 24/7, so you can count on us to be there when you need us the most. Contact us today to schedule your service and experience the Duck Duck difference. 904-862-6769 or online at duckduckac.com.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On April 23rd, in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Cincinnati Bengals selected LSU quarterback Joe Burrow as the first overall pick.
Sports fans, JJ LaSalva here. When I need to send my bride flowers or a plant for birthdays or anniversaries, I always go with Hume Flowers. After all, they've been the leading florist in these parts for over 75 years. You can always rely on Hume Flowers.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes, and you've heard me praising the quick and easy process of Awaken 180 weight loss. Now I'm going to explain the benefits. It begins with fitting into clothes you haven't worn in years, or better yet, buying new clothes because those you have simply don't fit anymore, or tightening your belt and realizing you're out of holes, or running on the treadmill or on the beach, or lifting weights just like you once did, or, and here's the key, your health drastically changes. Who doesn't want that? The transformation from old you to new you is the finish line, and Awaken 180 weight loss gets you there faster, safer, and easier than any other weight loss program. You're healthy, you're happy, you've made a paradigm life shift. If I can do it, if Mike Dempsey can do it, and Hacker can do it, if more than 21,000 others can do it, you can too. Get your plan, get your personal coach, and get your results by doing what we all did. Choose the solution for weight loss. Awaken 180 weight loss. Call 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800. Or online at awaken180weightloss.com.
This is Nye Lauren Stemple, former Florida State national champion and the proud owner of NLS Cleaning. Just like on the gridiron, we tackle dirt and grime with unmatched precision. Whether it's your commercial property or your residential space, we are ready to take care of your exterior cleaning needs. NLScleaning.net.
We love talking sports on 1010XL, and I9 Sports love giving kids the perfect way to grow up playing sports. Summer and fall registration is underway, and if you log on to i9sports.com, you'll see all they've got to offer for kids 3 and up. And don't forget to enter 1010 in the promo code for a discount on registration. Year-round sports all across the First Coast, from St. John's, Duval to Clay. Summer and fall registration open right now. Fort Family Field in Westside Middle, or online at i9sports.com. Get your kids in the game with I9.
Are your kids ready to play this summer? Come check out the Y. Summer is a time for kids to explore new things and expand the limits of their imagination. At the Y Summer Camp, every day is a new adventure. Kids can learn about STEM, arts and humanities, athletic sports, outdoor games, and more. Registration is now open, but space is limited, and spots are filling up quickly. Learn more and find your adventure at fcymca.org. Search Summer Day Camp.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime. Brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool. On 1010XL.
We appreciate them and everybody else that tunes in to XL Primetime hanging out. 2:45 XL Primetime with Joe C., Matt Hayes, Big Leon Searcy. Thanks to Lavernius Coles for hanging out with us for a little bit. It does take you back in time, and I'm sure there's a lot of Duval out there that can definitely identify with this. There's been so many good players that have come out of the city of Jacksonville, and the First Coast for that matter, for decades. But there was a time when you had Raines and Rebolt, and you can go to Andrew Jackson, and you, of course, can go to Raines and Lee. And you start
those Raines Reebok games were just
you start
legendary.
thinking some of the great talent that came out of the city when played. And then it took a little bit of time for it to kind of rev back up again. And then, obviously, we've been treated to a lot of great players here of late. But I'm telling you, man, so many good ones.
Well, see, that the Raines and Reebok was equivalent to down south, the Northwestern, St. Thomas acquaintances, the New Orleans, the Centrals, and all that kind of stuff, all that amazing talent down there. That's what Raines and Reebok was at that particular moment, with all those amazing athletes coming out that area.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And it also reminds you, as Matt said, when Lavernius rattled off the players that were already in the wide receiver room or in the offensive meetings for Florida State, the amount of players that Bobby was getting, and at the same time Miami was getting, Florida was getting. Oh, my gosh, there was so much.
So let me tell you, before Randy left, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll throw Randy, E.G. Green, Andre Cooper, Philip Riley, Peter Warwick, Wayne Messam, Ron Dugan. All of them played in the NFL.
Yeah, tremendous. All right, speaking of that, Tallahassee, I tell you what, Corona, this is a Corona call it, all right? You want to hear something cool? These are good numbers to go back and do, so let's do it right now.
He's going to drain it.
It all comes down to this.
Oh! How did you call that?
Game recognized game.
All right, let's see if you guys can call it. A little Corona, call it. Think about Cinco de Mayo. We've got Corona inching towards that big holiday. As a matter of fact, we're going to have Tres de Mayo. Next Friday, we're going to be on location at La Naparia, right there on Beach Boulevard. So we'll invite you to come on out. But let's see if you guys can do a little Corona call it right now, where you call your shot, see if you can get it right with that talent that came out of Tallahassee. I am counting, as I look at it right now, 1, 2, 3, 4 schools that have had 5 number 1 overall picks from their university. All right? So 5 number 1 overall picks from 4 universities. Can you call it?
USC's 1.
All right, so say it again.
USC.
All right, you got your little ding set up, RJ? Now, I could make this really tough and see if you guys can name them. So we'll do that in just a second, but keep going.
Ohio State?
No.
No Ohio State. Oklahoma.
There's another ding.
Let's see.
Come on, Searcy. You got to get in here, man.
Alabama?
Hmm?
Alabama. No. Georgia, maybe.
There it is. One
That's
more.
3. One more?
And this one should
Is
not
it
be too hard.
Notre
'cause
Dame?
It's old school. Yeah, it's old school.
Man.
And so you're probably not going to be thinking of too many number 1 overall picks that came from Notre Dame.
I might be able to get to
recent
USC.
vintage.
So 5?
No, you got
USC?
4. That's all. That's
No,
all.
I'm
I'm
saying
looking for.
the actual
That's your
players.
players.
All right, so Southern Cal.
Carson Palmer.
Yeah.
Was OJ
Give
one?
me the
Was OJ
damn
one?
ball.
Keyshawn.
Keyshawn.
Was OJ? No, OJ wasn't number 1.
No.
OJ was number 1.
Yeah, okay,
Yep.
so that's 3.
Yep. Another one of the great running backs that came out of Southern
Mike
California.
Garrett wasn't number 1 overall, was he? No. Another quarterback, I bet.
Jim
A
Plum?
big lineman and another
he's from
running back.
Stanford.
Who?
Ron
What are
Yeri.
Ron Yeri.
Yuri?
And another running back.
Yep. And this is when they were rocking and rolling.
Marcus Allen?
No, it was right around the Charles White days, if I remember.
Anthony Davis?
Nope.
I don't know who.
Ricky Bell.
Ricky
No.
Bell.
All right, so let's go
Bell for
Georgia.
Bucks, right.
Georgia, you got Trayvon.
Trayvon.
Herschel.
Matthew Stafford.
Herschel was 1 overall with the United States Football League.
Yeah,
no?
but that doesn't count.
Yeah, Matthew Stafford.
Matt Stafford.
Matt Stafford.
Yep.
You didn't like that one, huh?
And then you got a couple of old school guys. Charlie Trippy,
Yeah.
Frank Sinkwich. And then
right.
I had not heard of Harry Babcock. Just had not heard of him.
Great name.
Great name. Notre Dame had 5. You go back to the Paul Hornung days. You got Angelo Bertelli.
Meyer wasn't 1. Was Meyer 1 overall, or he was 2? It was him and someone else.
He was 2. All right, so go Oklahoma.
All right, Baker,
Mhm.
Tyler. Were there any other ones under Stoopsy? Billy Sims.
Billy Sims is another one.
Hmm.
Remember the guy who helped start the Tampa Bay Buccaneers franchise, number 1 overall?
Leroy Summer?
Yep.
That's 4.
And then one more, and he did play under Stoopsy.
He did.
Because Stoops says, I go to the press conference, and someone's talking about them being an underdog
Gotta be
against the
a
team
QB.
they're playing. And he says...
Oh, Sam Bradford.
Yeah, exactly. And he definitely was ready to rock it. That's when they ran the most plays in the National Football League. All right, there you go. Corona, call it. Give him some credit.
Oh! How did you call that?
Game recognized game.
We always forget Sam Bradford for these things.
Yeah, exactly.
Always.
Exactly. All right, thanks to Corona. Corona, call it. My Corona cat, Matt. This dude came up with this one. Matty, my beer guy, you know, and love him. And he says, come on, let's do something fun. Let's do something fun like that. So that's a little Corona, call it. And don't forget, pick up some cold Coronas as you get ready to celebrate a long Cinco de Mayo weekend next weekend. And we will be out and about Tres de Mayo next Friday. Looking forward
We
to it.
always make fun of, not make fun, but we always say, wow, Kirk Cousins, how much money he's made. Sam Bradford made a just ungodly amount of money.
He was the last
for being
guy,
an average quarterback.
He was the last guy to basically go in and get that big, huge contract in the first
pick overall.
Yeah, and
he's
then
the
they
reason why
slotted
there's
it
a
after
rookie
that.
scale.
Exactly.
I think his contract was like $76 million, $50 million guaranteed.
It was,
and they
fat.
collectively bargained after that.
He earned $130 million in his career.
Who's that? Sam?
Sam Bradford.
God bless him.
How many games did he start? Do you have him?
I don't have it.
It's honestly, he kind of bounced a little bit, played well for a while, but he was a guy that had to deal with injuries and wasn't the most put-together guy. He was a little brittle. And
really good kid.
Yeah, he was good.
Well, I mean, in college when I talked to him, $1.25 million per touchdown, the average.
Wow.
Oh, my gosh. All right. By the way, real quick, we might as well just stay on this with the Corona Call It. Auburn has had 4 number 1 overall picks. Cam Newton, Andre Bruce, Bo Jackson, Tucker Frederickson back in the day. Stanford has had 4.
Plunkett.
Elway. Plunkett.
Yeah.
Luck. And Bobby Garrett going way back in time. LSU's had 3, including Jamarcus, Billy Cannon, and Joey Burrow. Ohio State's had 3 with Orlando Pace, Dan Wilkinson, and old Tom Cousineau back in the day.
Dan Wilkinson, wow.
Yeah, Texas is the only other team that's had 3. Kenneth Sims, Earl Campbell, and Tommy Nobis. And he was Mr. Falcon forever, right, when they first started that franchise.
Canes have 1?
We have 2.
Yeah, Miami has 2.
We have Vinny Testaverde, and we have
I believe
Russell Merlin.
Yeah,
Russell
exactly.
Merlin, right.
Yeah, that was Coach Campo and them when they made that selection down there.
And you got two number 1 overalls in the supplemental draft with Bernie and
Steve Walsh.
Steve Walsh,
Yeah. Supplemental. I love it. Hey, we'll count it. Whatever you can count.
They still do it, man.
We'll keep it rolling. XL Primetime into the 3 o'clock hour. Thanks to Beaver Toyota, Beaver Chevy. The Beaver boys, along with Linda, they are there to wow you. They will definitely take care of you. The salespeople, the service people, all outstanding. My man Boydo running that service department. They can all get it done for you. Just log on, BeaverToyotaSt.Augustine.com, BeaverChevrolet.com. Let's steam into the 3 o'clock hour. Our X-Poll question. RJ, go ahead and throw that out there right now because we've been getting some traction on it, and we asked Lavernius Coles about the wide receiver position and just how good those guys at the top are, but we set it up a little differently.
Yes, our X-Poll question brought to you by Beaver Toyota, Beaver Chevrolet. So we gave you 4 players, Keon Coleman, Ricky Pearsall, Ladd McConkey, and Roman Wilson. We're asking you to predict the order these guys will be drafted. Go on X at 1010XL and give us your response.
Cruising with XL Prime Time in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. For most people, noon means lunchtime.
What's wrong with lunch?
At 1010XL, it means
helmets and heels.
Mia, Lauren, and Taylor.
You understand lunch.
Lunch, friends, and sports talk.
Weekdays, noon to 2.
On 1010XL.
At Honda, we appreciate all the comparisons to other vehicles. And no matter how many times they compare their vehicles to a Honda, only a Honda is a Honda. Remember, value, quality, safety, there is no substitute. Visit your local Honda dealer now and experience the difference.
Clearwater. John, I can't even mow my side yard. It's so soggy. Man, my builder sucks.
Brent, calm down. This is a common problem in neighborhoods where houses are built too close together. You need gutters and a properly installed French drain that will soak up subsurface water. We can completely dry it up.
So I can take my builder off my speed dial now, huh?
Yeah, we got you, buddy. Let that builder bitterness go.
Clearwater irrigation and drainage too.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700. Office is Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
This is head coach Matthew Driscoll from the UNF men's basketball team. When our players suffer an orthopedic injury, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists gets our players back on the court pain-free.
We appreciate the endorsements from our high school and college coaches. This is Dr. Kevin Murphy. The next time you need orthopedic care, you can rely on our team at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Jacksonville, Florida. AEW is coming home to restore the feeling.
What? I am the feeling.
For 2 huge events live from Daly's Place. All Elite Wrestling presents Dynamite on Wednesday, April 24th, and delivers a Saturday fight with Collision, April 27th.
Let's get down to business.
AEW Dynamite Wednesday and Collision Saturday from Daly's Place in Jacksonville. Tickets on sale now at AEWTIX.com.
Test your aim to help local kids succeed. It's the 6th annual Mackenzie Noel Wilson Foundation Clay Shoot to support the Boys and Girls Clubs of Northeast Florida and Mackenzie's Camp Deep Pond, Thursday, May 30th at Jack's Clay Target Sports. Get your team and the Boys and Girls Club take care of the rest. Ammo, cart, clays, breakfast bites, lunch, and goodies. Proceeds benefit 56 area clubs serving over 5,200 area kids every day. Go to bgcnf.org/events.
Let's fire up the flavor and ignite those appetites. Let's slow down and smell the barbecue. Because all your favorites are smoked for hours and ready for eating when you are. From our famous ribs to slow smoked pork. Enjoy some perfection by the plateful, safely in our dining room or in the comfort of your home. With curbside pickup, drive-through, and delivery. Sonny's Barbecue, local pitmasters since '68.
Your cooling system isn't working. Maybe somebody showed up with a portable electronic device. Then they discussed with you what your options are. Maybe they gave you an estimate that seems like an awful lot of money. What's the smart thing to do? When the situation merits a second opinion, get a Mike Merritt opinion. Yes, the Mike Merritt Comfort Team shows up with hand tools. We've never been able to fix an air conditioning problem with a tablet. Mike Merritt has been the trusted name for more than 30 years because there's never any hocus pocus. The Merritt team will walk you through the diagnostic steps up close and personal and show you exactly what you need. And the Mike Merritt price is likely to be far less because there's never an overtime charge, and the Merritt team doesn't work on commission. So remember, when it comes to the health of your cooling system, a second opinion can only help, and a Mike Merritt opinion can save you money. Florida license CACO 50384.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm Andrew Gibson for 1010XL. This update brought to you by Kuhn Flowers. Jaguars wide receiver Christian Kirk missed the final 5 games of the season in 2023 due to a core muscle injury. Kirk spoke today with Jaguars.com about his recovery.
I'm feeling really good. I spent about a month here after the season just trying to get my body back to the place that it needed to be, and I'm pain-free now and just happy to be back in the building around the guys and just with a new mindset and new mentality to just bounce back from last year. Obviously we didn't meet the expectations that we had for ourselves, and we have a chip on our shoulder, and we're going to come in every day in the off-season program and work towards that.
It's 88 degrees at 3 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime. Brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
XL Primetime, 3 o'clock hour, cranking it out. Thanks for hanging out with us. Beautiful afternoon if you're cruising around. You are locked in on 1010XL if you're in the office. And you got us on the stream. Wherever you might be, we definitely appreciate it, that's for sure. XL Primetime, thanks to Beaver Chevy. Beaver Toyota on this beautiful Tuesday. I'm looking at odds of the draft picks as far as who's going to go where. We mentioned that J.J. McCarthy has gone from 25-1 to now 12-1 to be the number 2 overall pick, which is just crazy. Another thing you can bet on, Leon, the primary color of Caleb Williams' nail polish. You can bet on that too, if you want to. If you want to. There's plenty of other. Huh?
What's clear going for?
All right, let me
get
in the
clear.
Here. You've got black is the betting favorite, plus 150. Orange, plus 200, because you're thinking it's going to be Chicago Bear orange. White, plus 500. Pink, plus 600. Blue, plus 700. Green, plus 1,000.
Okay.
So there you go. You got to make the decision.
Stay in my era.
Okay. Who will the number 1 overall pick hug first? Mom, dad, girlfriend, agent. Who did you hug first?
Who did I hug first?
Yeah.
Mom, of course.
Of course.
Mom gets the hug first.
Yeah, you lose money. Yeah. You lose money if you don't bet on Mom.
Yeah. Plus, she was crying too, so I had to console her.
Yeah. Have you guys seen the Peyton Manning promos for the draft where they have the hug dummy up there on stage.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
That
I
is
like
pretty
that.
cool.
That is.
Because Roger Goodell, he's doing his push-ups, he's doing his curls, he's getting ready to do as many bro hugs as he possibly can.
He gets some bruised ribs, too, after that night.
Yeah, I would think so.
What's the over-under on him getting lifted? 10? It's got to be that's got to be a betting line.
That's got to be a line.
Because some the big uglies always when they give him a hug, they lift him.
They pick him up.
Most of the defensive tackles do that.
Oh, yeah. And I'm telling you, he will go for that long embrace.
He'll be a flight. He'll be a flight a couple of times.
He's like he's swiping tender when he's up there. He's just holding on to him as long as he possibly can. All right, so let's get into the Jaguar draft conversation and the idea that they might be moving up. But first, let's hit at that real quick as far as what's happening with the draft.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
So our buddy Pete Prisco, friend of 1010XL, you hear him on the Frangie Show often, once a week actually.
Mm-hmm.
He came out with his final mock draft, and he's joined the growing chorus of draft analysts who believe that Jaden Daniels should be the number 1 overall pick. He's got Jaden Daniels going 1 overall to the Bears. And he says, yes, I think he will be the best quarterback in this class. He's the most improved player I've ever seen in the course of 5 years. That's a big statement. That's impressive. That matters. He will be Lamar Jackson-like. And then he has the Commanders taking Caleb Williams number 2, and he says, I keep hearing generational when it comes to this kid when talking to scouts, but he needs to clean up a lot of his stuff for me to make that claim. Having said that, there's a ton to like. He will be a damn good player.
Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams.
See, it's kind of unfair because Jaden Daniels is the best athlete I saw all last year, period, point blank. He was the most dynamic. He was box office. I mean, I was looking for LSU games on TV because of Jaden Daniels.
That's a great way to put it.
I was looking for it. Was box office. Listen, the game they lost against Ole Miss was classic. I love that game. His running ability, his scrambling ability, his elite arm. I mean, that
he
game
almost got split in half by who was it? The Alabama, was it Dallas Turner?
Turner.
Was it Turner who almost killed him?
Oh yeah. He a little chin check.
There's a lot that he does well. By the way, real quick, Prisco also has Malik Neighbors over Marvin Harrison Jr. in the draft as well. He's got Malik Neighbors going 4 overall, the Cardinals, and Marvin Harrison Jr. going 5 overall to the Chargers. There's a lot to like about Jaden Daniels. I think what I like most about him is the fact that he can go off schedule and he can make throws on the run, on the roll, under duress, accurately.
Yeah.
Accurately, he makes those throws. That's what I really like about him. The only thing I don't like about him is his size. It's the only thing, because I just feel like he's going to get hurt. I mean, he's going to have to get a lot bigger. Now, I can say this. J.J. McCarthy wasn't the biggest guy at Michigan.
Right.
In the last 4 months, I mean, I stopped the show yesterday and I saw him and I was like, my God, he's changed his body in 4 months, J.J. McCarthy has.
Yeah, he looks he does. He looks thicker, like he has put on weight.
So it's not like it can't be done is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
and we saw Lamar Jackson do it. Lamar
Exactly.
Jackson was he looked almost frail coming out of college. Look at him now. He's almost 240 pounds.
Yeah, J.J. McCarthy looks like Matt Damon from Ocean's 11. He's just all fired up and ready to go. But it's such a crapshoot. Like the Jaden Daniels tape that I'm sure a lot of scouts fell in love with watching was him against Florida because of the record-setting numbers, that 3-game stretch, including the Ole Miss game, some of the numbers he put up. Heck, they should have put the 40 time on him when he was out running Florida defenders. Just picture that tape, okay? He ran for 51 yards on that one scramble. I've got his numbers here somewhere, just as far as the total number of yards he had in that one game. It is just insane what he did against them. And so, yeah, that was tape that would make GMs, head coaches, quarterback coaches, coordinators all fall in love.
Yeah, absolutely. In college, it looked good. In NFL, he's not going to be able to run like that.
No.
He's not going to, but that window's going to close. Not only the passing window, but your escapability. When you get out, he's got to learn how to, like any other quarterback in the NFL. I mean, you got to learn how to.
Well, he will run.
Yeah, he
mean,
will
Lamar
run.
figured out how to run.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
How to get down.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
He's going to learn how to get down. Yeah, absolutely.
Lamar figured out quick he's got to get down. And Jaden Daniels will too. Yeah. No doubt.
There's no question is that you figure out, and any of these guys figure it out, I can't take the shots. I can't take the hits. I need to be able to find the sideline as my friend. Don't run to it, but use it when you need to, and understand that instead of trying to run for 10 yards and get blown up, throw for 14 yards, throw for 18 yards, whatever it is. draw a defender in, and then get rid of the football.
I always go back to what Hollywood Brown told me. This was probably 6-7 years ago. And he was like, look, I've been the smallest guy on the field every single year I've played football since I was a kid.
Yeah.
I figured out a long time ago how to get out of bounds and how to get down and it's protect my body. So these guys know it. It's not like they don't know it.
No, and there have been running backs like Emmitt Smith who said you just needed to lean and have just a feel and a rhythm and roll with the guy who's bringing you down when you know you can't. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, listen, I totally agree with you. These guys know how to get to the ground. I'm not talking about the hits you see coming.
Right, the ones you
I'm
don't.
talking about the ones you don't see
the
coming.
ones you don't are the problem, right?
Those are the ones that are the problem.
There's
Yes,
no doubt about
those are the ones the problem.
Yeah, those will blow you up.
Yeah.
All right, so we said in our XLP Big Three, do the Jaguars move up? Do they move down? Are they stuck at 17? So what's your gut right now, Matt? Because we're sitting there and we're trying to figure this out. We asked Lavernia's about those wide receivers and just how good they are. I've got that mad wide receiver love for Rome Odunze. I really, really do, as far as the work ethic and the playmaking ability that he has. But what type of
my gut is they're more likely to trade back than trade up. That's number one. I think you just got to look at what Trent Baalke has done since he's been here.
Mm-hmm.
And they traded back in to get Devin Lloyd, obviously. Yeah. But I don't – they're very conservative in what they do. And last year should have showed that to everybody. Because if you have that many picks and if you are desperate for a guy that you feel like you needed a receiver, you needed a corner, you'd have traded 6 picks to move up. So and he kept saying nobody would trade with him. That's just not realistic. He couldn't get the deal he wanted is what it was.
Which is fine if you say no and the other ones are trying to fleece you of picks and you're not getting value. I'm okay with that. I just felt like he should have been able to orchestrate with as many
right. So that's kind of my idea. If they do move up, if they find a way to move up, I mean, it's clear that they want to be in position to take a receiver. Mm-hmm. I don't think they're taking the best corner because the best corner might fall to them at 17. So my guess is what they do is they stay right where they are and they take the best need/player available.
Hey, you're comfortable with that?
No, but I'm just telling you that's what they're going to do.
That's what they're going to do.
I hope like Fuego falls to him. And all of
Yeah.
a sudden, you've got a massive guard/tackle, the kid from Oregon State, Talise Fuega, who can play guard for you right away and can play tackle if you need him to in the following year.
So if he's in a position like at 14, 15, he's not there, move up and get him. Go get him.
Oh, man. If Fuega hasn't been picked at 14. After 14 picks,
Yeah.
yes, I would move up to get him.
Yeah, but it's funny because we're doing some mocks and we're seeing Joe Alt float because the potential is that you could have, let's just say it's a combination if a 4-quarterback, 3-receiver run, and then you have to jam in at least one of those defensive linemen, be it Verse, Turner, or Murphy. Murphy's now moving up, which is still a little bit of a head-scratcher to me, that Murphy is starting to gain a little traction. Byron Murphy, we're talking about, big interior defensive lineman out of Texas, which I like. I would like to get him. But I also think to myself, Devondre Sweat and Byron Murphy were interior stars for the Texas Longhorns. Why is he getting all the love and Sweat isn't getting all the love? And by the way,
Sweat's heavy.
Yeah, but Sweat was –
No, I mean heavy.
Oh, he's heavy. He's 4 bills.
I mean, yeah, that's why.
What'd they say he weighed in? 370?
366. Yeah, 366.
Yeah, that was a big fib, man. That was just nothing but a big fib. But the other thing is that he was – let me see if I have the number here. He was the either Outland or whatever the big trophy was for the big defensive lineman, and also the defensive lineman of the year in the Big 12.
Byron Murphy, yeah.
No, Sweat.
Sweat?
Yes.
I thought Byron Murphy was.
No, Sweat's the one getting Sweat had the accolades, and yet Murphy's getting all the love. And so it is a little interesting. And maybe it is just because of how.
Well, it's also why Jordan Davis got all the love, and Jalen Carter was
There you
clearly
go.
the best player.
That might be a good example because one guy's a space eater that may just be primarily playing the nose, whereas the other guy is going to be that 3 technique that's going to be able to.
Well, I mean, which one do we
to
need?
affect
Do we
the quarterback.
need someone just occupying space, or do we need someone that could get to the quarterback and clog up the hole? I mean, because if you get Sweat, I mean,
you need Talise Fuega is what you need.
Yeah, well, yeah, we
But
do.
I would love to see.
Let's be honest.
Yeah, we do.
I would love to see Eric Armstead and Byron Murphy in some combination.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm rooting for Devon Hamilton. Devon Hamilton's a bigger man, more experience, all that kind of stuff. But that interior part of the defense,
you want that rotation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong. Believe me, that's what a lot of teams. If you can start rotating guys on D-line, you're in good shape.
Just don't ignore it is all I'm saying. I think that is a crucial position for this football team.
So we talked about Leon brought it up, and he said, what if Fuega's still there at 15? Do you trade up to get him? So looking at Jimmy Johnson's trade value chart, okay, which every team in the league uses now. So, and it's a point system. It's basically each pick is given a number, point number, and that's how you figure out what you owe and what a trade would be. So the Jags are at 17. The point value there is 950. The value at 15 is 1,050. So you got to make up 100. Okay, you got to make up 100 points. So to move up to 15, you got to give them the 17. Which is what they're going to want. They're not going to want it made up any other way.
Be swapping those picks.
Then make up 100 points somewhere around the other way, somewhere the rest of the draft. Now, the furthest down you can go to get 100 points is the 100th pick, which would be in the 4th round. So my guess is, I don't know who's at 15. Whoever's at 15 is probably going to want
you got Indianapolis right there.
The first or the second, third that you have, and the Jags would probably give them the second, third, which will be somewhere around the, 110 point values. That's what it's going to cost you to move up 2 spots.
Yeah, so you're and you're trying to get over your rival, too, by doing that. And that's also important as well because you talk about needs. Both teams are going to be looking at some similar needs when you're trying to figure out who they might be going to get.
Yeah, no, I mean, no question. But I think you're against your rival, but I think you're also I keep saying this. You have got to look at this thing through the lens of Trevor Lawrence. If you truly believe, and Lavernius Cole was talking about this earlier in the show, you truly believe he's your guy, you got to do everything you can to put him in position to reach his ceiling. And right now they haven't done that at the line. They just haven't.
No, and I
specifically
will,
the middle 3, I should say.
Yeah, I will applaud them for making sure that they didn't have the same center going into this offseason. I will applaud them for that. I will applaud them for making a move to go get Ezra Cleveland to do something interiorly because they weren't winning enough of those one-on-one battles. But I'll also criticize them and say that they haven't done enough to necessarily know they can go into this next year 100% with that trio inside and give Trevor more time to throw the football.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I applaud them for what they did center-wise. I mean, you made Fortnite initially the scapegoat for all the interior problems, but he wasn't only the problem. Listen, I watched that Titans game. I watched the Ezra play. I watched Sheriff play. Those guys, they couldn't win they couldn't get stalemates half the time. I mean, I was praying for a stalemate in half the games. They were giving up penetration. So you've got to address the interior of the offensive line. It's got to be a lot more. What did Trent Baalke say? He said about 2 months ago, this team has got to get more physical up front on both sides of the ball. How do you do that? You go get a player. Not the same. You're
not lifting weights. You're going to get different players.
You're going to get different players that are going to affect, the mentality and the physicalness of both sides of the ball. The only way you do that is that you got to change the personnel, not roll with the same guys you ran with. You can't run it back.
No, that's the part that's that's the scariest part right there, is that you do not want to find yourself in a position where you're going, okay, we stood pat. We changed one position, and I like the idea that you guys have embraced as far as drafting a tackle. But I got to know, if it is Fuanga, that he is competing and playing inside. I got to know that. I can't have another tackle that's being drafted and you have 4 players, talented tackles, whoever you draft, let's just say, along with Anton Harrison, Walker Little, and Cam Robinson. Can't have 4 of those guys only playing 2 spots. Somebody's got to be able to step inside with the versatility. And you start looking at some of them. Fuanga's the closest thing you can get to that.
Fatano is too. I think they both would be good. Either one of those guys, I think, can play guard for you.
I started looking at number of starts that these guys have had.
Either one of those guys, Joe, would be a massive upgrade from the interior lineman that you got right now.
I'm going to look and see what I have Fasciano as far as starts go. And I completely understand, Leon, when they could have looked at you at Miami as a guard or a tackle, but they said you're more talented.
Fasciano's tackle.
Therefore, you're going to play tackle, right?
I was drafted to play guard. I was drafted.
No, I'm talking about at Miami.
Oh, my.
Yeah. They said.
I played tackle at Miami.
In other words, they never even said.
No, they even entertained it.
Yeah, exactly.
No, they didn't entertain it.
You were one of their better linemen.
I was an athlete.
This is. I'm saying that to basically say that Fasciano, even though he never played that position in college, he still could play interiorly.
He would have to.
Well, I think anyone can play it. I mean, Joe.
They just said there's no way we're not gonna waste him inside.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like Walker Little could play it. Is it gonna work?
Yeah.
Right. We're not even series into it, and he hurts himself.
Yeah, that one was scary. That's for sure. All right, you guys hit the text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures, 641-1010. Jump in on that subject. Let us know what you're thinking as far as, because it's countdown time, as far as the moves that they might make, move up, move back, stay where they are, what position is going to drive them to go in one direction or the other. Let us know. It's XL Primetime.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL. High school. Check. College. Check. Pro. Check. We've got you covered.
This is big time boss season.
1010XL. Jacksonville Sports Radio.
Mia here. Why Arlington Toyota? How about a huge selection of new vehicles in stock, on the ground, in one location? And every new Toyota purchase comes with Arlington's lifetime warranty, unlimited time, and miles. 60-day exchange program. Yes, you heard that right. 60 days to love your new purchase or exchange it for one that you do. Plus, Arlington's credit helper to help you get financed. There's even complimentary car washes with every service, and so much more. Shop arlingtontoyota.com today.
Frank Franzi here for Stanley Pools. There's a reason so many of my friends and our listeners have had Stanley Pools build their pools and now maintain their pools, because Stanley Pools truly cares about their customers. Stanley Pools is locally owned and has been serving our community for 35 years. For all of your pool needs, call Stanley Pools at 269-7277. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools. 269-7277, or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com.
Hacker here, fresh back from a visit with my doctor, and guess what? My A1C is all the way down to 5.5, so I'm no longer pre-diabetic, thanks to dropping 50 pounds so far with Awaken 180. Let that sink in. In just 8 weeks, I've done a complete 180 with my health, and man, is it life-changing. I guess that's why they named it Awaken 180. People like me, Mike Dempsey, Matt Hayes, and all the other clients had an awakening. Maybe it was a doctor visit. Maybe it was reaching the last notch on your belt, or the realization that you kept referring to everything as, well, I used to be able to do that. Whatever the situation, we all decided to do something about it and made a 180 thanks to Awaken 180. We're not doing it with medications or by working out or starving ourselves. We're eating to lose weight, and we're learning how to keep it off all the way. What's stopping you? Make the call. 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800, or at awaken180weightloss.com.
Hey everybody, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods. Dandy subs and sandwiches. Look, we always want you to think about those great options as you're driving around Duval. But the beauty is, even as I'm dropping pounds, Dandy's got great options for me as well. Told you all about their protein packs, delicious salads that they have out there. They have fruit cups for on the go. You know what they have. Veggie snack trays. You can grab those on the go as well. Perfect, healthy snack. Dandy is the name to know when you're on the go. So stop into a Gate store anywhere around Duval and make yours a dandy, and do it today.
Bueller Air Conditioning presents Are You Cool?
Today's challenger, a corporate management manager from Jacksonville, Florida. Meet Les Blankston.
Yeah, hi, Bob.
That is a remarkably beige suit there, Les. Tell us, why are you on the show?
Well, I just replaced my old air conditioner with a new one from Bueller, and I'm just so comfortable these days. I wondered, am I cool now?
Let's find out, Les. Go ahead and spin the wheel.
That's right, Les. By upgrading your old AC to a more energy-efficient model from Bueller Air Conditioning, you'll save money, save energy, and proudly show your family that you are cool.
Ooh, do you think I should get a mohawk?
Pace yourself, Les.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
I love the smell of fresh draft picks in the morning.
What are Jacksonville's draft day options?
Tell us what you're thinking for our first pick.
1010XL's draft coverage is brought to you by Renewal by Anderson Windows and Doors, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hey folks, Hicken here for Zero Res. If you're like me, you're getting the itch to do some deep cleaning. Problem is, most of us hate throwing things away. Man, I just close my eyes and let my wife do it. And we always call Zero Res for our floors. We'll have the Zero Res crew clean all the flooring because this month, gang, all flooring 25% off. That's right, 25% off carpets, tile and grout, wooden vinyl floors, and area rugs. Great time to get all the floors clean. Zero Res, man. Spell it forwards or backwards. Zero Res. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
Folks, the First Coast has voted. Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute is proud to be chosen as Bold City's best in 4 categories: Best Orthopedic Practice, Physical Therapy, Pain Management, and Foot Care Clinic. For the last 30 years, JOI has continually strived for the highest level of orthopedic surgery and rehab care. As the needs of the community evolve, so will they. That's why coaches, parents, and athletes choose JOI. Call them at JOI 2000 or visit JOI.net. JOI, where the pros go.
Hey sports fans, this is Hayes Carlyon from MyBookie. Look, we've all been there before. A weekend trip to the casino canceled because real life came calling. Well, MyBookie's new and improved online casino is here to change the game. Dive into a truly realistic casino experience featuring the latest in slots, progressive jackpots, and live dealer action, all from the comfort of your own home. I love the live casino. The roulette is awesome. It's so easy and so much fun. Just go to MyBookie and click Live Casino at the top. You'll find live dealers ready to deal or spin just like you're at the casino. The MyBookie Casino provides a Las Vegas experience when the action is in your hands. Start at MyBookie today with a generous sign-up bonus using promo code 1010XL, and a revamped loyalty program ensures a host of exclusive VIP perks. So sign up and hit the casino with promo code 1010XL. The more you play, the more you win. Only with MyBookie.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime. Brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool. On 1010XL.
Getting into draft grades, value, everything else that's going on in the world of the National Football League. Thursday night, center stage, the NFL draft will take place in Detroit. But all of Duval, a lot of you anyway, will be heading down to the bank. Make sure you go to Jaguars.com, get all your information, and be part of the party because the broadcast will originate from there. And you'll have Frange, Logs, Baselli, all of them on. Big Search, you're going to do something special Thursday night as well.
Yeah, the Jaguars gave me an invite. I'm going to be doing Q&A questions. You know, this is the 30th anniversary of the Jaguars, so I'm talking about my time here, my draft time experience and all that kind of stuff. It's going to be me, Scobie, and say his name right.
Yeah.
Plazowski.
Plazowski.
There it is.
You better get that right.
I got to get it right.
Yeah.
I'll work on it.
Yeah.
Just say pause.
Pause. I was going to say pause.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Plazowski. Pause. That's
Pause.
easy to do.
Better.
Yeah, I think I like that better.
I think Pete Prisco may have been smoking the pause when he's got Michael Penix moving all the way up to the 11th pick in the first round.
He's not the only one.
Okay. Honestly, I know it comes down to the end where you're trying to figure out exactly what these teams are going to do, and he's got a lot of movement. He's got a lot of guys that are moving up much higher than I thought. Joe Alt to the Tennessee Titans. I do not want to see that happen. I do not want to see a guy that you could put on lock at that left tackle position inside the AFC South, but that's who he has.
This is his, by the way, it's a mock, but he calls this his what they should do draft.
Right.
So it's
and so it's not what he's hearing.
He says, I know what they're going to do or what we're hearing, but this is what they should do. In other words, it's his true mock.
And look, who loves quarterbacks more than Pete does? Play the kid.
No one.
Yeah, nobody does. And that even rivals, like Matt Hayes may rival that quarterback love, but nobody has
I think that happened like through osmosis by sitting next to him with the Times Union so many years.
All right.
He's a quarterback guy, believe me.
We'll kind of play around with this thing as we go along tomorrow and then on Thursday as we get to the official draft day. But your gut right now, when you think of what happens with that number 4 pick overall, really you could start anywhere. Do the New England Patriots get someone to jump up and jump into that number 3 spot to take one of those quarterbacks, or would the Patriots just be nuts not to take one of those quarterbacks? Because depending on what happens with that number 3 pick, then number 4 really could get crazy.
So, I mean, they got the number 4 pick, right? Or they got the 3?
They
got
the
3 pick.
3, Arizona's 4.
They need a quarterback, don't they? Unless they don't value.
They got Billy Zappi.
Oh, they got Billy Zappi? Yeah, he's a barn burner. I mean, why not just take one of the quarterbacks? I mean, unless there's a team behind. I mean, what team? What team behind? I mean, the Raiders are who are in the Broncos. I mean, you got to figure the teams that need quarterbacks that may move up.
That's what you're trying to.
Yeah,
you're trying to figure out if let's just say, Matt, are you going to assume that New England stays pat and picks a quarterback?
No, I think if anyone in the top 5 that's going to move, I think it would be New England. I think they're probably a little gun shy from Mac Jones.
Yeah, because he is.
Not that that's Mac's fault. I'm just saying I just think they're a little gun shy.
Yeah, which is I guess understandable, and they're also trying to turn the page from the Belichickian way and everything that was going on up there. And they basically said, we want our phone to ring. We're open for business. The same thing is being said by Arizona. So I do think that if that third pick, somehow, some way, a Minnesota, somebody like that jumps in, then it really can change things dramatically. If it doesn't happen, and you have 3 quarterbacks that come off the board, then you got Arizona at number 4, and is it a Marvin Harrison? Because, hey, you've got Kyler Murray down in the desert begging them to give him another legit weapon. And so Marvin Harrison Jr. makes the most sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does. I mean, he may be the only sure lock, I would think, at the wide receiver position based upon it.
I don't like the fact that he didn't do anything. I just don't like it.
So here's the chatter I've heard. Kind of.
Wait a minute, so you're putting red flags on Marvin Harrison?
Mm-hmm. Not multiple, just one. I don't like the fact that he didn't run. I don't like the fact that he didn't run at the combine or his pro day. I don't like it.
Did he run the Big Ten championship? I'm asking a question. Did he run in the Big Ten championship?
No, he didn't.
He didn't play in the Big Ten championship?
No, because they didn't play in the Big Ten championship game.
Oh, good shot. I like that. I should have said, did he run against Michigan?
Yeah, that was the smart ass. Look what happened.
No, the Big Ten championship. I could have been talking about the Big Ten championship 2 years ago. Which one?
Again, didn't make it. I said again, didn't make it.
That's 2
now,
shots.
if you're going to say, right, if you're going to say, did he run against Utah in the Rose Bowl 3 years ago, I'd have said, yeah, he did, and he looked pretty damn good, yeah.
Well, I mean, you're the one that says your play is your resume.
Yeah.
Go throw on some film.
Yeah.
You know, don't get the combine eyes, the pro day eyes, and don't be all engulfed with these players
I'm not disagreeing with
by
you
them
at
running
all.
straight line routes.
Yep.
And then you're the first person saying, well, he didn't run, I don't like him.
Because if you're picking that high, 3 overall, don't you at least have to hesitate just a bit? Maybe even just like a little pregnant pause? Why didn't that dude run?
Well, here's a bigger question. All right.
Was he injured, or what? He just doesn't perform well in drills.
Okay.
Like, what is it?
Well, I blame y'all. I blame y'all, the media. I blame y'all because y'all didn't take any shots at him.
He just stepped away.
Y'all didn't take any shots at him, and it had more so to do if that was Shedeur Sanders. If Shedeur Sanders next year comes and does exactly what
if Shedeur Sanders doesn't throw at the combine or the pro day,
he will
get crushed.
Yes. But why did Marvin Harrison get crushed?
Why didn't he?
I know why he didn't get crushed. Because his daddy.
Maybe. But we don't know. Honestly, we don't know. What if the Patriots at 3 picked Malik Neighbors? What if Marvin Harrison Jr. falls?
So here's Pete. Here's what Briscoe said, and this is like Matt set it up on CBSSports.com. It's what he thinks, if he were in charge, the team should do. He says, I like Neighbors more than Marvin Harrison, which is why this is the pick. Neighbors has more wiggle in my mind. Both will be great, but my preference is Neighbors. So I think Pete, and I love Pete, but he's falling into the same type of trap. I still think Marvin Harrison over time has been as good as it gets. He didn't have a very good quarterback up there throwing.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, you had the Heisman Trophy winner throwing the ball to these guys. The mass majority of Neighbors and Brian Thomas. I mean, the Ohio State quarterback, he's not even there anymore, is he?
Well, he had C.J. Stroud throwing him the ball the 2 previous years.
How'd he look?
In that Rose Bowl?
He looked pretty good.
When he had like 300 yards receiving, that was because C.J. Stroud was throwing the ball. So don't give me that Jaden Daniels stuff, man.
No. What I'm saying is the fact that LSU had Jaden Daniels this year.
Right.
And I'm saying that his quarterback
so you're using as a negative against him.
Yeah. I mean, his quarterback was limited.
I mean,
he's not even there at Ohio State
I mean, he had
anymore.
5 catches for 118 yards against Michigan because they basically just couldn't get him the ball because McCord couldn't get him the ball.
Yeah.
His tape is phenomenal. He's a phenomenal player.
So when Pete says, I like Malik Neighbors, got a little more wiggle, and then I hear that number, I'm like, I don't need to see wiggle. I need to see play.
Yeah, again, it has nothing to do with how he played, Leon. It's just if I'm spending a top 3 pick, that's a lot of money. It's a big investment, and it's a big pick. There's a little bit of a red flag for a guy who doesn't want to run at either spot. In a controlled environment at his own pro day, he doesn't want to go out and run.
All right, you guys, let us know what you think. 641-1010. Hit the text line designed by Lifetime and Closers. You got the choice. Marvin Harrison, or Malik Neighbors. Which direction would you go in? Our X poll with our wide receivers. RJ, give us some thoughts there as far as what they're thinking.
Absolutely. With our X poll question, we gave you 4 players: Keon Coleman, Ricky Pearsall, Ladd McConkey, and Roman Wilson. We're asking you to predict the order in which these guys will be drafted.
I mean, honestly, for all we know, Xavier Legate could be the best receiver.
Xavier Legate
could be the best receiver in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, we don't really know because receivers are they're everywhere. They're everywhere on the board.
What's his grade right now? Second?
Late first, early second.
Legette had one of those 30 visits with the Jags. And so there's another one that obviously could be in the conversation. We included Roman Wilson in the conversation with the one that we did, but there's no reason to think that Legette won't be a guy that they'll be looking at. And I think he comes after the guys that we just listed. That would be mid to late second for Legette.
It depends. I think a lot of people see him as DK Metcalf. I think he goes in the first. I think he might be late.
Right.
I think he might end up like on.
You've got him.
He might end up with the Chiefs, which make a lot of people happy, I'm sure.
All right. So one other one that was put out there. Aaron Wilson put this out earlier. Cam Hart, who we have mocked quite a bit in our mock drafts, day 2 draft target, has basically visits scheduled with the Commanders, Bears, Giants, Jags. So Jacksonville, one of the teams looking at Cam Hart. And then I was looking for X Legette. I'm almost positive there was another one that put him in there as far as having a scheduled visit with your Jacksonville Jaguars. Speaking of Duval, we've got AEW Dynamite tomorrow night. We got the draft down at Daly's Place in the Bank Thursday night. And then we got Rampage Friday night, right back at Daly's Place. RJ, are you going to give somebody a chance to win some of these tickets?
Absolutely. A pair of tickets to AEW Collision and Rampage on April 27th at Daly's Place. 641-1010. Be caller number 3.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
We got a great show for you today.
Join the 1010XL Podcast Network.
A big show.
Now you can find all your favorite 1010XL podcasts in your platform of choice.
A king-size show.
Frank Frangie here. It's Chevy truck season at Nimnik Chevrolet. There's no better time to do what you do best in a Chevy Silverado. At Nimnik Chevrolet, you can save up to $10,000 off a new Silverado. Plus, well-qualified buyers can get rates as low as 0.9% financing on all new Silverado 1500 models. Nimnik has the largest inventory on the ground and outstanding cash incentives, and of course, that best price guarantee. Head to Nimnik today. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Hey there, all you sports dads rocking the best dad bod possible. We love seeing you eat tacos by the handful, and we love it when you bring your kids here too. For years, Lucy claimed that her favorite thing on the menu was sopapillas, with a big scoop of ice cream. I know that's not a taco, but that never stopped her. I was shooting for Dad of the Year anyway, so I just let it happen. Taco Lou's a great place to bring the family. There's something for everyone, as long as it starts with a taco. And a margarita for mom is always a good thing. At Taco Lou in Jacksonville Beach.
At Andy's Automotive and Truck Services, they know that your company's fleet is more than just a bunch of cars and trucks. It's your livelihood, your reputation, your pride. So when you need routine fleet maintenance or emergency repairs, Andy's offers after-hours and mobile service to minimize your downtime and keep your fleet running like new. While you care for your employees and customers, rest assured Andy's Automotive will take care of your fleet. Visit the team at andysats.com.
Your cooling system isn't working. Maybe somebody showed up with a portable electronic device. Then they discussed with you what your options are. Maybe they gave you an estimate that seems like an awful lot of money. What's the smart thing to do? When the situation merits a second opinion, get a Mike Merritt opinion. Yes, the Mike Merritt Comfort Team shows up with hand tools. We've never been able to fix an air conditioning problem with a tablet. Mike Merritt has been the trusted name for more than 30 years because there's never any hocus pocus. The Merit team will walk you through the diagnostic steps up close and personal and show you exactly what you need. And the Mike Merit price is likely to be far less because there's never an overtime charge, and the Merit team doesn't work on commission. So remember, when it comes to the health of your cooling system, a second opinion can only help, and a Mike Merit opinion can save you money. Florida license CACO 50384.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On April 23rd in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Cincinnati Bengals selected LSU quarterback Joe Burrow as the first overall pick.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, Director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 5-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year, and right now graduate making over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or no student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, your only costs are the books and the course fees. About $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org, and you can apply there.
Apply by May 23rd.
You don't have to be a football star to get a signing bonus. The team at Republic Services needs your skills, and they're paying up to $5,000 for you to join the roster. You'll be joining a winner. As an essential business, the Republic Services trucks have not stopped rolling with hourly and weekly pay and better benefits and vacation packages than the rest of the league. Driver trainees, $1,000 sign-on bonus. CDL drivers, $3,000. Diesel mechanics, $5,000 bonus. Join the winning team at Republic Services today. Visit republicservices.com.
Equal opportunity employer.
This is Dr. George Bari inviting you to look online at BariOrthopedics.com for the latest in medical advancements when it comes to getting you back to full joint health. After studying under Dr. James Andrews, I know proper diagnosis is the first key to treatment, and educating the patient is the fastest path to recovery. Whether it's chronic back pain, nagging arthritis, or necessary joint replacement, we're here to serve you in the best possible way. We are Bari Orthopedics, and online at BariOrthopedics.com.
Find out more at BariOrthopedics.com. That's BAHRI Orthopedics.com.
Mia here. Looking to spruce up your home or business for the spring? Window Gang's exterior cleaning services will remove stubborn stains, restore windows to a clear shine, and ensure your gutters flow freely. Call 262-7300 for a free estimate.
Dave Binion here with my son Ammon, who is the air duct cleaning manager at Zero Res. So Ammon, you may notice a little rattle in my voice and some puffiness in my eyes. That's because allergy season is coming on. Can Zero Res help?
Yes, your health has a lot to do with the air you breathe. A clean and healthy home begins with clean air. At Zero Res, we can help clean the air in your home by cleaning your air ducts, cleaning the coils in your HVAC units, and fogging the system with a powerful antimicrobial that helps kill and control the growth of microorganisms in your air. We also have options for maintaining your clean air with our excellent inline air purifier and UV lights that will help keep your system clean and healthy. At Zero Res, we are more than just air duct cleaners. We're a clean air specialist.
Have Zero Res air duct specialists out, and right now we'll give you $50 off your air duct cleaning, and while we're at it, we'll give you $50 off your dryer vent cleaning. Zero Res.
Spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
CEROREC. Zero Res.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Who lit it up last night? Brought to you by American-Electrical.com.
Murray makes a move.
The Nuggets have won! Hartenstein gets it out to Anunoby. DiVincenzo a three. Bang! Bang! Knicks take a 1-point lead with 13 seconds remaining.
Talk about lit it up. There was a lot of conversation on social on X last night. That lit up for sure. Don't forget American Electrical. They are powered by professionalism, and they can definitely help you with your next electrical project, be it commercial or residential. Log on American-Electrical.com. At the end of both of these games, Leon, there might have been a few calls that could have been made. Refs might have swallowed the whistle. But in the end, LeBron did have an open look for a three. It was tied. miss, nobody there to clean the glass. Ball goes down the other end. Last shot to the right. Jamal Murray makes his first, I believe, his first ever walk-off winner in the association. And AD had him covered okay. Wasn't like completely blanketing him, but he had him covered. That happens, and then the end of the Sixers-Knicks game was nuts.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, but listen, Lakers, I said this earlier, Lakers break my heart. Kept me up late, made me a believer, made me trusting them up by 20. You know, and all of a sudden the third quarter they want to shoot jumpers. Nobody's attacking the basket. Nobody's getting any rebounds. Let the Nuggets back in the game.
They're a good,
and this is what happens. This is what happens.
They're a good 36-minute team.
They are.
That's what they are right now.
They absolutely
because
are.
It's just a different deal when they get to. And you're right. They did let go of what was all right, put it to you this way. They had a 20-point lead. Then they had a 10-point lead going into the fourth quarter. And still, like you said, might have settled for some exchanges where they weren't staying with that level of intensity. You could have left Mile High with at least one win. That's something that LeBron and company and AD will have to live with.
And listen, you have a tendency to overreact after game one because they had a lead in game one and they let that go by. But getting game two is important. If you get game two, you going back to the house 1-1. Yeah. You got the clear-cut advantage. This why this game two was so important that they get it. And they started off like they started in game one. They started off well. They played well, built up a big lead, and then by halftime, third quarter, they just let it slip away.
It'll drive you crazy.
Yeah, they drive you crazy.
It will. And by the way, there were plenty of muggings and maybe even some assault-level charges that could have been leveled.
Staying out of this
at the end of the Knicks-Sixers game. It was unbelievable the way that thing unfolded, and there was not a whistle to be found.
Good.
Well, look, I'm okay with. I
the
love
playoffs,
the idea.
man.
Oh, okay. So now, if you just tell me that there aren't going to be any fouls called within the last
No,
minute,
I didn't
then
say
let
that.
everybody
I
go
didn't
do whatever
say
they
that.
want
I'm
to do.
saying at some point, look, and I was telling Leon this earlier. They're the best athletes, and it's not even close in professional sports. All this whining and the feet and legs flailing when they're taking shots and holding their hands up after they make a shot and they think it was an N1 and they didn't get it. And just play. Just play because it's the playoffs.
This is
You're not going to
Gran
get everything.
Torino talking right now.
It's not Gran Torino. It's the playoffs, man. You're not going to get that.
I get it. But at the same time, I'm looking for a reasonable.
It's the same thing in the NFL. Like with receivers and corners, you're not getting those calls in the playoffs.
Sometimes you are. Sometimes you are.
Well, see, but here's the thing, man. The temperature in the room early kind of lets you know how they're going to call the game. And if they're letting stuff slide early.
Which is what Darvin Ham said.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying.
Consistency is really all you're looking for.
That's what I'm asking for. Just be consistent.
Yeah, so it drives you crazy. All right, so let's get back to the Jags as we count them down. The 17th pick, your Jacksonville Jaguars own. All of Duval. Can't wait to see what they ultimately do if they even stay at 17. But we've been counting down 17 years of the 17th pick overall. Let's hit it with 2021.
With the 17th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select Alex Leatherwood, tackle, Alabama.
Raider Nation, you guys will get an offensive lineman who will work his ass off to any means necessary for this team and this organization, and you will not be disappointed. I promise you that.
For 1 year.
And how'd that go? How'd that work out?
He lasted 1 year with the Raiders, started out tackle, couldn't play tackle in the NFL, moved him inside the guard, released him after 1 season after signing him to a $15 million guaranteed deal as a 17 overall pick. Released him after year one.
Well, what happened? I mean, because that sounded,
that sounded good.
So then he signed with the Bears, and the Bears placed him on the reserve non-football illness list. So he's got
non-football illness list.
He's got some problems.
Wow.
That he had to deal with.
It's just a shame.
Okay,
Yeah.
right.
And then the Browns, then they released him at the end of the season. They released him in August of 2023. Then the Browns picked him up in August of 2023, signed him in the practice squad, and his contract expired at the end of the season.
And this is a situation. This is where when we argue back and forth and Matt screaming big man, you can miss on these big men too. There's only so many of them, but you can miss. And so this is like I always have a tough time figuring out which Alabama player is great because they've got great around them or they're making the other ones great. which is hard to figure out sometimes.
Yeah.
Because you've had a few of them. Obviously, Cam Robinson came out of there and has been pretty dang good. And then you've had others like Jonah Williams, and you can go Alex Leatherwood and a few other ones, right, Matt, that have come out of there and just have not been able to be the same level of player.
But that's where you've got to rely on your scouts, the guys who have followed these cats for 3 years and 4 years and know them and know everything about them. And then you've got to rely on the due diligence you did in the 4 previous months leading up to the draft,
right?
And understanding what's the value there. So I mean, yes, there's no doubt you can find a busted offensive line. You can find a bust anywhere in the draft. The whole thing is, how do you avoid them? You avoid them by working. You do your work.
Yeah, it's like we were talking about earlier, the all-time bust. Leon, you had that list of guys, and one of the guys that's a Jacksonville Jaguar was on that list. Top 10 bust of all time.
Justin Blackman.
Yeah.
He was at number 6.
And there's really no way that you – well, I shouldn't say that.
I mean, he had –
Like we argued that he had an incident. There's no question he had an incident. But let's just go back to Lavernius and what we were talking about with him. There are things that you do that you get in trouble for, but how far down does it knock you down a draft board? He ends up going in the 3rd round. Justin Blackman, everyone said, if you don't take him, we're taking him. And so he was drafted 5th overall. And unlucky for Gene Smith, it did not work out. And for all of Duval, it did not work out because he was a dynamic.
Right, well, first off, none of us are angels, okay? Let's make that number one foundational here, okay? Yeah. But the difference is, how do you let it affect you? And are you the same? Are you that person at your core, or are you a different person at your core?
Yeah.
So Lavernius Cole clearly was a different person at his core. So and there are other guys like that. There are other guys where that's who they are at their core. That's what I mean by you have to do your due diligence. You have to literally talk to everybody you can possibly talk to about these guys and figure out who and what they are.
Yeah, because most of the guys that come into the league, they are who they are, and money only intensifies it. And so you've got to find out what kind of character you got coming in, what kind of work ethic you got coming in, all that other kind of stuff. Because guys just don't act the way they act. They
randomly.
Yeah,
right.
randomly.
It's what they are.
Yeah,
right.
exactly. I mean, I don't want to keep getting on R.J. Sauer, but R.J. just didn't come to Jacksonville and start acting up. He had to have done it in college in some capacity, and
consistently.
Yeah. Yeah. So you take that, and then you come to the NFL, and you've got money, and you've got time, and you've got it intensifies. So whatever problems he had in college is going to intensify now that he's got money.
Plus, I also think the days of coaches saying we can change and we can fix them are over, because I think they now see the investment, and they see the clock is ticking much faster, and the window of opportunity is much smaller now for everyone, not just GMs, not just coaches, but players too. So it's now you have to perform, and you have to perform right away, and you can't miss. So the idea of, well, we'll get him in here and we'll work with him, he'll be good, we'll straighten him out. You can't do that anymore.
No. You essentially as a player have to understand that you have a 2-year window. You have a 2-year window. And that's long. That's far from when I was playing. Some teams will give you the benefit of the doubt throughout the extent of your contract, and then maybe if you're worthy of an extension, they get your extension. Now, if you don't show some kind of productivity within 2 years, now the exception may be in some instances the quarterback. Quarterbacks are getting a little longer leash.
Although now it's starting
to shorten.
Yeah.
It absolutely is starting to shorten. Absolutely.
I mean, if you're the Bears and you've invested this time into Justin Fields and you give up on him after 3 years, when you really haven't helped him that much.
No, you did not.
That's a big move.
Yeah, you didn't make it an impossible situation, but you made it almost a nearly impossible situation because he didn't have line protection. He only had really one guy that he could consistently throw to. They had to go out and get him to bring him in.
Well, let me ask you this question, man. How much was that his fault or the fact that you got Caleb Williams coming in the draft?
I think it's a little both. It's a little both.
Yeah.
But I also saw that kid play in college football. He was fantastic. He can throw the ball, and you've seen it in the NFL. He can throw the ball when he has time.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's a situation where he's just not a good player. I just think he needs to get in the right system.
Well, it's going to be next team up. I mean, because next year, you got Carson Beck, who's going to more than likely be the first pick overall, and you're going to probably have another team that's bad that's going to give up on their quarterback maybe way too early to get somebody that they feel that can just start right away, just like Caleb Williams.
I don't think this is the beginning of this. I think if anything, it's going to be more accelerated, the process for quarterbacks, where you now are going to see these. They're going to give up on quarterbacks in 2 years, not 3 years. It's just going to be, we don't see it.
Right.
We got to move.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the clock, like you described, is just way fast. Off the text line, there have been plenty that came in here with this Justin Blackmon conversation at the end, and I agree with most of you that it's kind of the what could have been, because the games that he had in a Jags uniform, over 200 yards receiving, just absolutely taking over games, machine-like when it came to running patterns, getting open, turning upfield. He represented a lot. He was probably a tough guy to pass up on. It's just a shame that it didn't all come together for him, that's for sure. We are done. We've got one of our own coming on tomorrow from right here in Jacksonville. Pop Howard will be joining us, current Gator, former Gamecock.
Former Gamecock,
yeah.
right.
The former star right here in Duval on the high school gridiron. So we'll say hello to him tomorrow, and then we'll be getting close to the draft. We appreciate Lavernius Coles dropping by and hanging out with us today. Thanks to Beaver Chevy, Beaver Toyota. Both of those dealerships will take care of you, and Linda says they are there to wow you, and she means it. They'll do it, so make sure you check them out, beaverchevrolet.com, beavertoyota.staugustine.com. We are done. We got to make room for the Frangie Show. Joe C., Matty Hayes, Big Leon Searcy, and RJ, have a great afternoon. You got the Frangie Show coming up next.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealer